Hello everyone, welcome to this session. So today we are going to read Robert Frost's famous poem Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening. So this might be the poem that we are all familiar with. Maybe we are already familiar with this from our school days or maybe in our college, but anyhow this is a very famous poem and it's very easy to understand because it's very simple, but it has got layers of meanings and it has got many implications at various levels, and which will kind of grab the attention of reader at a kind of philosophical level at all. So this poem was written in the year 1922, but it was published in the following year 1923 in Frost's collection New Hampshire. And this is written in perfect iambic tetrameter, and it is the stanzaic form is known as rubaiyat stanza, which is a quatrain style poetry stanza form which is borrowed from Persian poetry. Okay, so this is a poem which has got the perspective of a traveler who had stopped nearby the snowy woods to witness the beauty of nature, to just wonder, to just marvel at the beauty of nature, because he was standing there before the snowy woods, and you can imagine the beauty, the that atmosphere which is filled with snow, and it is so romantic, and the traveler had stopped there thinking about various things, and maybe for a moment, for a brief moment of time, he was kind of awestruck as well. He was so fascinated with the beauty of nature at that time. So the poem is divided into four stanzas. Now I'll read the text, then we can discuss it. Whose woods these are, I think I know. His house is in the village, though. He will not see me stopping here to watch his woods fill up with snow. My little horse must think it queer to stop without a farmhouse near, between the woods and frozen lake, the darkest evening of the year. He gives his harness bells a shake to ask if there is some mistake. The only other sounds the sweep of easy wind and downy flake. The woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. So this is the poem. The first stanza, we are introduced to this narrator, presumably a traveler who had stopped nearby the snowy woods, as I was saying, and he had stopped there wondering at this beautiful snowy woods, and he's thinking about who might be the owner of this snowy woods. Oh, I think I know. I'm familiar with this person, this owner. He's living in the nearby village. It's kind of a little far away distance, so he cannot see me stopping here, just wandering at the snowy woods of his forest. So the narrator is kind of relaxed because the owner of the snowy wood is not there, and he can just stand there relaxed, just wonder or just appreciate this beauty of this nature, and he can just stand there relaxed for a brief moment of time. Maybe we can infer that this person might be a traveler who has been traveling on business purposes, maybe personal affairs, but whatever it be, he is an exhausted person who has been traveling for a long time, a long distance, and he's so exhausted and tired and very feeble right at the moment, but he so maybe that's why he just stood there just watching at the snowy woods and hoping that the owner won't be seeing me just standing there seeing, or kind of it may look like peeping into someone else's property, but the narrator is so relieved that the villager, the owner of the snowy woods, is not there to look at him. The second stanza, we are introduced to the companion of the narrator, that is the little horse. So it is described as my little horse. It can have two implications, because it may mean the horse is literally little, which means it may be a pony, a small horse. Maybe he's calling it as little horse because the horse is very dear to the narrator, because for traveler, obviously his medium of travel might be the best partner in crime. Like that, here we have the little horse who has been accompanying the narrator for a very long time, all through these distances from home to the business to the work to faraway places. This little horse is accompanying the narrator for a very long time, and maybe that's why he is calling the horse as little. so my little horse must think it queer. So this horse, okay, my owner had stopped me here. So he's thinking the little horse is personified in the poem. So there is this element, the literary device of personification from second stanza and third stanza also. So the second stanza, the little horse must think it's queer because it's kind of strange for my owner to stop here right in the middle of the forest. Nothing is there to see, and he just stopped here without a farmhouse near, because usually what their routine was, they'll stop nearby a farmhouse so that the horse and its owner can be refreshed and recharged for the rest of the journey. But here there is no farmhouse nearby. I can't see a farmhouse, but my owner had just stopped here and he's just standing there looking at this. I don't know, wherever he's looking, he feels so relaxed, but he's just looking there, and he is kind of uh, deep in his thoughts. So this might be the thoughts of the little horse, and the horse is thinking, imagining that there is only woods and the frozen lake ahead. Only that is there, and apart from it, it is a very darkest evening of the year. It is a very dark evening, so it can also refer to the longest nights of the year, maybe 21st March or 22nd March, the winter season, the peak of the winter season, and it is the darkest evening. So the day is very short, the night is very long, and they are standing there, the host along with the narrator, along with the speaker. Maybe Robert Frost himself is standing there nearby the snowy woods, wondering at the beauty of the nature, and the host is visibly confused. And the third stanza, he gives his harness bells a shake. So that is where personification is visible, most visible, because he, which means the little horse, is personified, and he gives us harness bells. So harness means to the controlling bells. He's shaking that bells to make sure that there is no mistake. My owner is okay, he's all right, he's safe. So the little horse is making sure that his owner is okay, he's completely safe, he doesn't feel nauseous, or he doesn't feel kind of sad or disappointed. He's okay, he's all right. So he's making sure that there is not any mistake is there. The only other sound, so the horse is imagining the only other sound, because we have the woods, we have the frozen lakes ahead, and the only sound in that atmosphere nearby the snowy woods is only the the swift movement, the soft movement of the easy wind and the downy flake. So the trees are all covered with the snow, and when those downy flake means the soft feathery kind of snowflakes, it is falling, those snowflakes are falling to the ground, to the earth, and that is the only sound that we can hear. So we can just imagine that atmosphere, that serene atmosphere where the narrator, along with his host, is just standing there being relaxed from all the exhaustions of the life, and he's just standing there being relaxed, and he's just looking at the snowy woods along with his host, and the host is kind of wondering what might be the wrong, what might be the mistake that happened with my owner, my narrator, my owner, because he is standing there, and the only sound is the soft movement of the wind and the soft feathery snowflakes that are falling to the ground. And the final stanza, now the narrator, the maybe the poet, maybe the speaker, he had regained his consciousness, and he's thinking that the woods, these woods are lovely, dark and deep. It has got many chances, many opportunities are ahead of me, but I can't just stand here being stick to this place. I can't just stand here attached to the snowy woods, because I have so many promises to keep in my life. I have to keep on my journey of life, because I have miles to go before my sleep. So the final stanza is filled with symbolism, because the woods is a symbol, might be the temptations, might be different challenges, might be the opportunities, different opportunities and different challenges offered to the narrator or speaker. Maybe it can be temptations, or maybe it can be different kind of available opportunities that is offered to the speaker, but the speaker has got yet another many a range of opportunities and range of responsibilities and promises to keep in his life. So he's kind of regaining that thought in a way that he's realizing slowly, that realization is coming into his mind, and he's realizing that, okay, I can't just stand here looking or marveling at the beauty of the snowy woods, because I have so many promises to keep in my life, and I have left so many responsibilities. I have people to take care of, so I have to leave this place. I can't just stand here looking at the snowy woods because I have miles to go before my sleep. So the second symbol is the sleep, because miles to go before my sleep, it can also refer to the long journey before the long sleep. So the sleep can refer to the long rest or the death itself, because before the death of the narrator, before the death of any person, he or she has got a long journey to fulfill. He or she has got many responsibilities to fulfill, many people to love and to take care of. So it is important to realize that we cannot just stand there being stuck to one place, being stuck to one incident, being stuck to one misfortune or one failure. We have to move on. Life has to move on. This too shall pass. So that is the message or the moral that the narrator or the poet is conveying through this beautiful poem. On a superficial level, it may appear that it is a very simple poem talking about a narrator who had stopped nearby the snowy woods, but deep inside it has got a very philosophical understanding or idea which conveys to the reader to make sure or to inspire the reader on a very powerful level, making sure that the reader will just go through his journey of life, because that is what is expected of individuals, that is what is expected of you. So that is the moral of the lesson, that is the moral of the poem. It's a beautiful poem, Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening, written by Robert Frost. Thank you.